Welcome to Trifolds and Elevator Speeches. This was one of our many big things that were asked for when we were asking for suggestions with workshops. That was something that was at the Area C meeting at the last time we met in February. I was a bee on the wall, and Marcia took a lot of ideas from people, which I thought was really nice. And this was highly requested. So we're glad to have you here. This is being recorded. We will put it on Facebook when it's available to me. And please take a look at it while it's there before it goes to Dropbox. So I'm going to hand it over to Sonia Matisse, your second Vice President of Membership of CFWC. And I am just here as a bee to watch all of our busy bees present today. Enjoy. Sonia, hats off. Here we go.
Thank you, Pam. Well, we're so glad you could join us, and our ladies, our vice presidents for the state have really been busy, and they're going to start off with the elevator speeches. And Cindy Sanders, who's the Area A CFWC Vice President, and Wendy Kieran, CFWC Area D Vice President, will be sharing ideas for creating your own elevator speech. So enjoy.
Good evening, ladies. My name is Cindy Sanders. I'm your Area A Vice President. It's an honor to be here this evening and to talk to you about elevator speeches. Now, what is an elevator speech? We're going to start there. We're going to start with the what, why, and how of an elevator speech. An elevator speech is a brief, persuasive speech that you use to spark interest in what your organization does. This short, approximately 30-second speech is an impact statement that serves as a compelling invitation for a prospective member to join your club or attend a club event to promote a project or a club program. Okay, that's basically an elevator speech in a nutshell. Now what? Well, first, let's look at the what. An example would be as follows. The Always Buzzing Club has been meeting for more than 100 years. That's your what. Now, let's look at the why. Why? To make a positive impact on our community. Okay. Next would be the how. Exactly what do you do? The how would be by awarding scholarships to local high school students. Would you like to learn more? All right, that's the elevator speech broken down. So let's put it all together and it'll sound something like this. The Always Buzzing Club has been meeting for more than 100 years to make a positive impact on our community by awarding scholarships to local high school students. Would you like to learn more? Here's my card. Let's get together for coffee and talk about it some more. That's basically an elevator speech in a nutshell. There are a few things to keep in mind, of course, when you're writing your speech. 1, keep it simple. 2, use phrases and words that you believe in. Avoid acronyms such as CFWC or ABC. Use California Federation of Women's Clubs or Always Buzzing Club. People might not know what your acronym stands for. Edit and practice. Keep it short, keep it simple, practice, practice, practice. The words should flow effortlessly and sound convincing and sincere. Have more than one variation to use in different circumstances. You want to tailor your elevator speech for situations such as if you want to invite someone to a meeting, it would sound different than if you're asking someone to attend an event. So be ready with a couple different short variations that you can use. So you're out and about, you meet someone that you would like to share information with, share your story, tell them what you do, why and how you do it. That is your elevator speech. Make sure you also gift them with your business card and or a trifold with more information, including how to contact you or your club. That's really important. Make sure that they can follow up with you. Think of your elevator speech as a short commercial about your club. An elevator speech can be written individually by each member Or it can be a club project. It's something that you could do during a club meeting or a convention. Have everyone get together and work together to put together an elevator speech. You know, some people are a little bit shy. They don't quite know how to put those words together. You can help them do that, or they can do it individually. The choice is yours. So let's review. What is the elevator speech? It tells the what, why, and how of what your club is doing. Share your story. What are you passionate about? Keep it simple. Remember, no acronyms. Remember to edit and practice, 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 and make sure you sound sincere and convincing. You can even add your elevator speech to the back of your business card. I know a few people that have done that, and it's great. It's an easy way in case you need a little bit of a cheat sheet when you're first starting and can't remember all the words. So now you have the what, why, and how platform to put together your very own elevator speech. So get buzzing. Thank you. That concludes my portion of this evening's presentation. Wendy?
Thank you, Cindy. We're going to expand a little bit on the how. I'm going to give you a couple of sample speeches and a couple of different scenarios. In scenario 1, I'm wearing my club shirt and I'm standing in line at the grocery store, the pharmacy, Costco getting gas, all of that. All right, so somebody remarks about my shirt. So, oh, my shirt. Yes, I'm a member of the Grand Terrace Women's Club, a volunteer organization that has been supporting our community for over 100 years. I'd love to tell you about our local projects. Better yet, how about if I invite you to join us at our next meeting so you can learn more about what Grand Terrace Women Club does and here in our community. Oh, and in our state. We are always looking for volunteers to join with us to make Grand Terrace a great place to live. Oh, here's my card, and I've got my name and my contact information, as well as how you can contact our website at the club. So give me a call, we'll chat. All right, now remember, when you've got a card, if your name isn't on there and your contact info, make sure you write it on. You know, you might just have one from your club, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. All right, scenario number 2. Well, I'm still wearing the club shirt, but this time I'm at a booth at a community event. So someone's walking by, they're looking at our wares and what our information we have out. So I tell them, thank you for stopping by our booth today. This is just one of our many volunteer projects we do every year. Our club has been active in supporting our local libraries and schools here in the community for over 100 years. In fact, you know that school bell you hear ringing every weekday? That's the original bell from the original school site. And you know what? When that bell needed a new home, Grand Terrace Woman built a tower and put it in there. And every school day, that bell rings. Let me give you my card and some contact information so you can learn more about our many volunteer projects here in Grand Terrace. Okay, so again, you know, I've got my card or the card. Now, club cards should have contact information on them about how to contact the club. And I'm going to talk with you about how you might order some of these, but a phone contact, so don't hesitate. If you have a club card, don't hesitate to put your name and contact info on that. All right, so now we're going to talk about creating the club card. All right, they don't just happen. And here's a hint. Check out Vistaprint online. You can design and order your cards right on their website. I did 20 cards for $20 for 500 cards. Now, at the time, I didn't think about putting my speech on the back. So what I have taken to doing is utilizing a mailing label. You know, they come 30 on a sheet. You can type stuff in. Well, I've taken to putting those on there. And I have some samples for you. I'll read a couple, but Lynn Youngstrom is going to send those out to you so you can see what kinds of things I put in. Now, when you order your cards, you could order them with the phrase pre-printed on the back. It's going to cost you a little more, but I'll tell you what, Vistaprint loves women's clubs. And don't forget to put the trademarked CFWC and GFWC emblems that stay together. You don't separate them. And Vistaprint knows this. And it's got the little trademark symbol. So you want to put that on there as an identifier. Okay, so here are, I'm going to give you a couple of hopefully good hints, but here's a fun idea. Cindy mentioned maybe working on this at a club. You know, don't we all love a good contest and a good, a little bit of friendly competition? So how about asking, and maybe even as we first come back into meetings, ask everybody to write down a persuasive statement to see if you could get a new member. So, and then everybody read them that brought them, narrow it down to 2 or 3, do voting, award some prizes, you know, Starbucks, chocolate brownies, ice cream, you know, all those things that we love to bring home. And Cindy hit it right on the head. Practice, practice, practice. Now, my opinion, every member should get it a minimum of 5 of the club cards and personalize them and have them with you at all times. Now, here's some of the phrases that you know what? At first, I was stymied about coming up with a statement. Once I got started, they rolled right off my mind. I did them in two different fonts, a 10-point and an 11-point. Both will fit on a mailing label. All of these, because you know what? I put them on mailing labels and I know they'll work. All right, so here's one. Want to volunteer to make our community a great place? Join the Grand Terrace Women's Club. We are looking for helping hands. How about, since 1908, the Grand Terrace Women's Club has supported local volunteer projects in our community. If you'd like to join us, give us a call. Now here's something in general for just California Federation. The California Federation of Women's Clubs has 230 clubs that support many local volunteer community projects that help make our world a better place. Join with us to make a difference. Here's an interesting one. Looking for a way to make an impact in your local community? Join a women's club. California has 230 clubs throughout the state. Volunteers are always welcome to join. So again, you're going to get these helpful little suggestions so that you can jump off onto your own paragraph. I'm going to finish by reminding everyone, it never hurts to know how many hours your club or district or the state combines in a year. Think of the impact when you talk about how many volunteer hours your club has put together in the last year, the amount of money that you donated. And don't forget that in-kind donation. And, you know, it's good for all of us to know that. These aren't secrets that we keep. We need to share them. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy.
Good evening, ladies. Thank you for sharing your Saturday evening with me, us. I'm Patsy Wilson, Area B Vice President. And this evening, I'm going to be talking about the contents of the Trifold. I get junk mail every day. Look at this. That's the front and the back of a piece of mail that I received the other day. I never thought of it as being a trifold. It has so much information on it. I believe it was just too much information. It has all the things that I need to plant a tree, to plant a horse, to plant nectarine trees. It says live oak trees, ash trees, olive trees, and everything. But it doesn't have a telephone number. It doesn't tell me where the nearest one is. It doesn't give me any of the information that I really need. It may be on there somewhere, but it's just too busy for me to look at and for me to try to find the information. So I would say a trifold is a paper document that's used for sharing information that promotes your organization. You want the people to know about your organization. The purpose is to explain the purpose and services to an outside group, someone who does not really know you or your club. Your trifold should include at least 6 elements, and they are, number 1, your contact information. And this information should be on the folded in flap of the trifold. And when I say contact information, I'm talking about your club name, the phone number, the address, and perhaps the email address. The other element should be your mailing address. And that should be on one of the outside panels. This address should be the return address and a blank area on this outside panel for you to use to paste a separate label, have the interested party write their name and address and other contact information on. But by having your name and address already printed on the outside flap of the trifold, it saves having to get a new envelope and perhaps getting a stamp. The third element is your front cover. Your front cover includes your club name, your logo, and perhaps your slogan. And this, you keep from making it too crowded. You don't want the front cover to be very, very busy. Too much information just takes away from the impact of the trifold. But you want to make it attractive enough and to include enough information to make the reader want to open it and look to see what it's all about. So colorful, short, snappy, and entertainment, inviting. The fourth element of your trifold contains what you do. What do we do? The features and benefits of the club. And this is usually on the inside of the trifold. you add your programs, projects, and any benefits you may want to share of belonging to your club. And the fifth element is the action. And that is what the reader can do. And this is usually contains a checklist of the volunteering opportunities that the potential member may want to look. You have a list on this panel that says, oh, we offer these particular opportunities in our club, and the reader looks at this and they see something that they're interested in. And when they look at it, you have a little checkbox on it. And when they apply or you contact them, they've already told you, well, I'm interested in domestic violence. I'm interested in the Veterans Project. And you know, when you get the pamphlet back, that you can have the chairman of those particular projects call them and explain all about the program that you have within your club, because they've told you. And I call this panel action. In the past, you might have called it an application. We were talking in our pre-meet the other day, and one of our VPs said that the word application may have some kind of throwback or feedback that's not pleasant. And so we want to think of something different than saying, oh, this is an application that you have to fill out to become a member of our club, because we don't really have those many rules. We want to get your name, your contact information, and find out what you are interested in and find your fit within our club. So you're not looking for a job, and we're not gonna make you work when you get in this club. You are attracting them with this information about their opportunities. And panel number 6 is our history. And that's the list of accomplishments that we may have made within our club or within the whole organization. You can also put in this panel some pictures of some of the events that your club has had, how the club is funded, some of the funds that we have raised, some of our fundraising opportunities. And I have here on my handout the relationship with CFWC and GFWC, but we would say the relationship with the California Federation of Women's Club and the General Federation of Women's Club. And since this is a trifold, we don't want to go too much in the history of it. And I'll say that 6 panels usually make up a triple trifold. I had to try several times to fold my trifold and to get it copied correctly, because you want to make sure that when the potential member or interested party looks at it, their eye is trained to go where you want it to go. So you fold it up, and it's not, I don't know what to call it, but it's folded like a tent. And I have a sample here. This one is the CFWC trifold. I have one here from the Domestic Violence Coalition Action Committee, very good. And Linda Lima sent me this one, and it's the size of a business card. And it's from General Federation of Women's Club. It has all the interested information in it. It has on the back, it has been left blank. And it has a note here that you can find the information by calling GFWC. And this blank information also has an area where you can put a mail-in label, such as that Wendy talked about. This particular trifold, I understand you can find on gfwc.org. And in summary, I like to say that in the handout that will be distributed to you, I have the panels numbered to match the information that I discussed earlier. Panel 1 is the contact information. Panel 2 is the mailing address. And panel 3 is the front cover. Panel 4 is the features and benefits. Panel 5 is the action that the reader takes. And panel 6 is their history, the club history. And if you're a group, you should perhaps do this as a group. You form a committee to work on it. Someone who's interested and knowledgeable about your organization, or someone who's interested in learning more about the club. You want to have a good mix so that you can capture the ideas that are new and some of the older ideas, I'd say. And after review of your text, you have your trifold, and then you can have your trifold printed or photocopied. We know with the printers that are available to all of us, your club can produce a professional looking trifold that will greatly improve your club's ability to recruit new members, because that's one of the main purposes of this trifold, a recruiting tool. As I said, there's a sample on gfwc.org, cfwc.org, and a lot of our clubs in the state of California have put their trifold out on their website. So you can go on a search, hunting for examples and samples of available trifolds. Most of them put it out there, and you can use it as a tool for developing your own trifold. After that, you distribute your final copy. And Marcia Willett will talk about distribution of the trifold. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Patsy. I'm Marcia Willett, and I'm the Area C Vice President. When you get this trifold printed, what do you do with it exactly? Do you leave it in a box and stuff it in the closet or under the bed? Well, then you won't be able to accomplish the goals that you set for yourself. In marketing, there are 3 basic methods of distribution. They are mass distribution, selective distribution, and exclusive distribution. So let's look at these different ways of distributing and think about what would fit into these areas. With mass distribution, you could think about taking your trifold to the Chamber of Commerce if you happen to be a member. Most chambers have a large wall, and on that wall they have a place where you can put your brochure or a business card even. So that would be a good place to start. Another place would be a real estate office. What if you have a member who happens to be a realtor and they wouldn't mind putting some of your brochures on their desk? How about the welcome wagon? I know that's an old-fashioned organization, but I think it's still in existence, or something similar to that in your town. Or the newcomers club. That would be a place to put that as well. But remember, with mass distribution, you're not going to get a lot of responses. Mass distribution isn't for that kind of thing. It is really an introduction to what's in a town or what's going on. You'll get a few, but you're not going to get a lot. So don't get disappointed if you don't get a lot of response. Then let's talk about selective distribution. That's a little different. Selective distribution are places where you may go yourself. Let's say community events or a community fair, and you happen to have a booth there. This is a good place to have your trifold. The community events will give you that opportunity to not only hand out the trifold, but guess what? That elevator speech is probably going to come into some play here. Another place might be any place that women like to congregate. How about a beauty shop? Or a clothing store, if you have a small clothing store in your area, or maybe even some of the bigger stores like Chico's, they may be willing to have your brochure there. How about the dry cleaners? I see more women going in the dry cleaners than anywhere else. And how about this place? I know most of you have this place. How about a club website or a Facebook page? Those would be good places to put this digital copy of it. And people could print it off and it would be in their hands right away. The one that's probably the most important to you is the exclusive distribution. This is one-on-one. And every member in your club is going to need a few copies of the trifold. Now the trifold needs to be printed probably for cost efficiency in black and white. However, if you use color, you will find out that color makes people much more interested in what's on that trifold. So color costs you a lot more money, but it might be worth it. So if you're going to print it, think about how many copies you should print in black and white and how many copies you should cut in color. Here's a couple examples of a color. Take a look at the color. You think you can see that? I don't know if you can or not, but the color really pops and makes people take a look at it. The black and white, which you put in the Chamber of Commerce's office, may be something that people will pick up, but it won't have that same cachet. And let's talk about the copies. Now you grab a few copies and you stick them in your handbag, right? And you drag them around with you forever. And after a while, it's sort of like a wadded up Kleenex. You take it out and it's bent and it doesn't look pristine. You do not want to give someone that you're giving the elevator speech to a copy that's looked like it's been run over by a truck. So please, only put a few in your purse at a time and put them in a place in your purse that it's not going to be bothered by a wallet or some other glass case or some other things that you are carrying with you. Just put it in a safe place and consider putting some in and not a lot, and then put some more in. I suggest that you really think about a few other things too. I think that you should have a membership email address if you don't already have one. Consider putting that on that business card. And that email address should be going with every single administration that you have. And that way, you always have membership. People will always know where the membership people. It doesn't make any difference if the members change themselves, but the membership email address is always the same. And therefore, you can use these for a little longer period of time. But also consider that you don't want to run too many of these copies. The printer may say to you, oh, 500 copies is the cheapest, and you run 500 copies and you only use 100. You have wasted your money and time with those types of trifolds. Think about how many you would use in one administrative year, and you can always run more. And some of you can even run some on your own printer if you wanted to. However, when you change an administration, take the time to look at the trifold. Is it still relevant? Does it say the same things that Patsy was talking about? Or do you need to make some changes to it? That's why you don't want to make too many copies. Do not run excessive amounts of this trifold then. Just really run what you need. You can always go back and run some more. You have the discount card from Office Depot and Office Max. You can use that to run trifolds. And you may even have a printer in your own city that would even do it for less. Who knows? Some people tell us they have people who will do good things for them. And check with Vistaprint as Wendy had told you for your business cards. And it's inexpensive and you can put those on the back of the trifold. So you can always afford to purchase. If you can, I suggest that you purchase cardboard or plastic brochure holders. I checked, the plastic brochure holders are approximately $1.30 a piece, so they are expensive. But they do look nice, and if you're going to go through some of these areas like a selective distribution place, you might want to have some. However, for 99 cents, you can buy the cardboard ones. Now they come in packs of 30, so you have to buy 30 of them, but you fold them together, they say like a trifold, and they come in different colors. And it wouldn't be such a large expense to your organization. So for 30 of them, you know, you're spending $30 and it's not too bad. Remember, the elevator speech and the trifold work together. If you're in a place where you're talking to someone on an individual basis, you want to have that trifold in your purse or in your pocket or in your briefcase, but you really need that as a backup. So you know how to do distribution now, and I'm sure you can get these trifolds in the hands of lots of people and bring in lots of members. Thank you.
Sonia Matisse.
You're muted, Sonia.
Okay, I guess I'm all
There
right.
you are.
Okay, well, I was actually going to say something about the second group of ladies, but they kind of handled it all on their own. I'm sure you'll have some questions, but I feel that there were things that I even learned tonight, so I'm sure you learned a lot, and I'm sure glad you could join us. So thank you. I'll pass it on to questions and answers.
Okay, if you will raise your hands, and then please, if you don't mind, directing it to one of the 4 or 5 ladies, including Sonia. Sorry about that. All 5 ladies are available for questions. This is your chance. Who would like to go first? You're muted, Sonia. Maybe we could go back to, okay, Wendy, that's what I was going to say. Maybe we could go back to the ones that did present tonight, and maybe there's something that you didn't say that someone else brought up. That's kind of a good little key in. It looks like Wendy has just one of those comments.
Just one. You know, the Marcia's comment about not overprinting, and I'm not going to share the story of my club's trifold, but and make sure that it is pertinent. You know, if you've done something great every year, shout that out. You know, find something in your club that your club does in the community that makes a huge impact. And you know what? Everybody wants to be part of helping out, that want, you know, to join your club. So that's that. I would suggest that.
Thank you, Wendy. And I didn't mean that you just had one comment.
Oh, no.
I mean that brought up just that kind of a thing. Sorry about that.
No.
I'm tripping over my words tonight. It looks like Cindy wanted to speak. Cindy?
Yes, Wendy, you mentioned about the business cards, getting our logo put on those, and I'm sure that some of our members would like to know how they can go about doing that themselves, where they can find the logos and how they get them sent over to Vistaprint or whoever they use to get their cards printed. I know that I've been asked that before, so I'm gonna let you answer that one.
Thank you, Cindy. It's trademarked, so many times I might have had it on a document and made a copy. It's trademarked. I didn't change it.
It's fine, but I'm happy to tell you. Go ahead.
When I first got my cards printed, Dory was president. I called her and I said, "Can I use the?" She says, "Yeah, it's It's trademarked, so I did.
Isn't
Okay,
it
and
on, isn't it on the CFWC website, however?
Yes, yes.
It
City is?
actually
Yes.
is on CFWC. I was going to tell you, I'm happy to say that they are now on CFWC for you to download to your computer.
Perfect, thank you.
Wendy.
Thank you,
Great
Cindy.
That's
point.
the answer I was
Goodness.
looking for, Sonia, thank you.
Okay, it looks like Marcia has some additional comments, and of course, we want to hear what you have, Marcia.
I also thought it was in the GFWC style book as well.
It is true. It is also on their website if you'd like to look for it there. Thank you so much for suggesting that. Patsy Wilson has a comment.
Yes, I wanted to add about the trifold. You should make sure that you look at the spelling in your trifold and try to avoid using those little cute words that you intentionally misspell, because that makes your club look, I mean, people don't know whether you misspelled it intentionally or not. So just try to use the correct word that you, with the purposeful meaning. When you look it up, you can find its meaning in the dictionary or wherever you use to verify the correctness of the word that you're using. Because it, like I said, it changes your image if you don't produce something that has correct spelling and the use of the correct word that you're intending to use. That's all I have to say about that. I may think of something else.
Thank you, Patsy. What an excellent point. Valerie Barnes has a question or a comment.
On the trifold, I really do believe you should be putting in some kind of a fill-in blank on it. Getting them to put their name on the dotted line is the important thing, and it's right there in front of them with all the good works of your club. And, you know, 1/3 of that page has got their name, address, and phone number. And that's what we need. Then they're caught. Then you have something to go to.
Excellent point. Thank you so much. Anyone else have a question or comment? Yes, Pam. Oh, you need to unmute, hon.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that when you are proofreading something, that if you read it out loud to somebody else, rather than just try to read what you have just written, you can catch an awful lot of mistakes.
Thank you, Pam. Much appreciated. Any other questions and comments? Oh, yes, we have a hand up with Jean Marie. Jean Marie, you had a question or a comment?
Yeah, I have my trifold here from my group, from my club, but it's pretty old, and it's probably well, I've been in the club since 2018, and it was old then. How often is this? How often would you suggest updating this?
Jean Marie, do you have anyone in particular you'd like to have address that, or do you just want us to let who feels comfortable?
Whoever wants to answer, yeah.
Okay, ladies, it's up to you.
I think a good thing would be to check it every single solitary administration. So if your president is elected for a one time, that would be great. If she's elected for 2, then you might not do it any, no less than every 2 years, because I think the material changes too fast. And even how we talk about ourselves and what we're trying to promote changes. So you don't want to let too long a period of time to go by if you don't update that.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
The next question comes from Kathy. Kathy, you have a question?
It's not a question, but it's a comment. Maybe somebody already mentioned it about the font size. It should be, and the type or style of font, it should be easy to read. If it's too small Or is it, if the font style is too funky or whatever, people aren't going to want to read it. It needs to be easy to read.
Are there any suggestions on the style or size of the font from the 4 ladies or 5? Go ahead, Wendy.
I am very partial to Arial because Arial is not curvy. It's not, you know, Times New Roman. I wouldn't use that. Even Calibri, it gets very small. I'm partial to Times New Roman. And recently I've been using Lucidia Sans. And I like that because the letters look bigger, but minimally 11 point. Don't do anything smaller than 11. You're
Fantastic. Thank you for the, thank you, Wendy. Valerie had her hand up. Valerie, did you have another comment? You're muted, hon.
We're all a bit competitive. I think that's the nature of a federated lady. And I really do wish we would go back to some kind of a membership contest. You know, over the years, we've had shoes, we've had act and oct that none of us could figure out what it meant. But I think we are super competitive, and I really wish we would come up with some kind of games or competition to gaining new members. Now's the time to do it. We're coming back shortly, hopefully back into meeting face to face, and we really want to get out there and get those members.
Did any of the 5 ladies want to address this?
I'll jump in the pool. Cindy, you go.
Is this like Jeopardy? I was going to let you go first.
No, you're going.
Right. Thank you, Valerie. I agree. I think especially in Area A, and you and I both being from Area A, our ladies do love a good competition. So, you know, maybe we could have some sort of a competition where if the clubs all participate and put together an elevator speech, a trifold, and the business card, they could be entered in a drawing, or they get a special prize or some sort of recognition, and might, you know, do some kind of a trifecta. I know horse races are coming up. The Kentucky Derby's coming up, Belmont Stakes, those will be, and a trifecta is when you have first, second, and third place winner in the same race. So maybe we could do a trifecta where each club has to do an elevator speech, a business card, and a trifold, and they could be recognized. I don't know, just a thought.
Fabulous.
Cindy?
And
Thank you,
don't
Cindy.
bet on Slewfoot Slew in the 7th.
That's right.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the floor? You know they're out there. Okay, Sonia, I'm going to hand it back to you. If you want to unmute.
Okay, well, no more questions. I think I do like the idea that Valerie brought up just now. You know, I think that, and also Cindy, the trifecta idea might just be a real fun thing to carry out. And even just, and like Wendy brought up, in your individual clubs, if you were to get them to just make a statement about why it would be important to join your club, and then, you know, kind of have a little contest going with your members. I think it would be interesting to hear why your members think that it's important to them, why they joined. You'll also learn about your members, but you also might add to your elevator speeches. You know, I mean, some people join because they just want to make friends, and other people, it's important to make a difference in their community, but it all comes together in the end. So I really don't have too much else to say, other than I'm real pleased that the area vice presidents are just getting on the program here, and it's exciting. I have my home, you probably can't even see it, but this is my home club's trifold, and I think they're absolutely right, that keep it to something like Arial and keep it to at least, I would say 12 font is the best, you know. Use your, and color. Since we should redo them every 2 years at the most, you know, maybe 500 is too many. Maybe that's a really good deal. But the color, people are they're gonna hold on to this. They're not just gonna throw it in the trash, you know. I think they'll keep it and look at it. They may not want to do it right then, but shortly thereafter. And also, I'd like to see where you have a place where they can join, you know, where they can give their information.
Join our club.
Come to a meeting. You know, I mean, I think that would be important. We don't have that on my clubs. It does have a please join us, gives the information on the meetings. Reservations are required. We give the first luncheon is our gift, wanting to come. I don't know if that's something that the other clubs do, but usually if they come and they get a free lunch, we see them the next time.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be something that works. So I like the idea that, like Valerie said, let's get out there, let's get some members. I was bragging earlier today, my granddaughter that I didn't really know would have an interest, my one and only granddaughter who will be 18 in June, said, Oma, I think I want to join club. I want to join the club. I was amazed, you know, and I've been beaming ever since, you know. So we're going to see younger people getting interested. You know, we've got our juniorette clubs, there's girls wanting to join, and she's a senior. She'll be going to college next year. So I really think reach out there. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun to see when we open up the people that are going to be joining us, who will want to join us. So just you know, you're a representative everywhere you go. And it's not, oh, I have to go to club. It's, oh my gosh, you know, I'm excited to go to club. You know, and share that. People see your excitement, they're going to want to join too. So that would be my 2 cents.
Oh, it looks like we have a question or comment from Jean Marie. Hi, Jean.
Okay, I didn't get down what we should call the application. What was suggested? I can't remember.
It was in my.
Yes, it was
we
you.
would call it action to be taken. And
Action to be taken. Okay. Our action.
rather than application.
I like that. Action to be taken, because we want an active group.
That's right.
Very good. I'm going to hand it back to Pam. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. Excellent. This has been wonderful. And I hope you've gotten some great ideas. The first club I belonged to was Redondo Beach. I worked for Redondo Beach before I retired, and I live in Torrance and went to the Torrance Club. But Redondo Beach, in their trifold when I was president, had a little free lunch. Present this. We asked for their name, their information. We asked for their action, what they were interested in, but we advertised right on that trifold, free lunch. And that goes a long way, ladies. You know, we all like to eat, and we all like to talk. So I think that that's great. I just want to let Patsy know that Moon Nurseries is here in Torrance. So they're really reaching out to get it to you in Diamond Bar, that little flyer that you were holding up. Is Jill still here, Jill Drescher? I saw your name. I'm wondering if Jill can give us an update and tell us how many members we have currently in CFWC. And I also want to ask Lynn to give us an update on what's coming up. So Lynn, you go first.
Okay, we're good until, let me see, we're going to next, I think it's the 15th is our next presenter, and it's going to be all about history, and I think you're going to enjoy it. I hope everybody will be interested. If you don't have a link to it, please let me know and I will send it out. If you've lost it, let me know. I'll resend them again. And tonight I am sending you some handouts that are from Marcia and from Wendy that will give you a real visual of what they talked about today. So please expect those to be coming.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. Anything from Jill? Okay, well, we'll find out.
Sorry,
and
I'm
we'll- Yeah, who's it? Somebody? Oh, okay. Well, for Jill, okay. So ladies, thanks for joining us. As I'd said, that this will go up on Facebook and be there for a while and then drop into the Dropbox account and you can find it there, this video. Please look on your Facebook account tomorrow. We are GFWC, California Federation of Women's Clubs. Please do not forget to register for convention. We have until the 15th of this month. And until we meet again, see you later. Bye, stay well.